Truckers X TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1. December 30th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5.
Good morning, Max.
Oh, yeah, good morning, sweeties. I think the volume's good. Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Just for All. In the previous episode, we completed, day 2 of investigation of Turnabout Big Top. I know, I'm kind of off today. But if you're after today's episode, as we begin part 1 of this trial, this should be under 50 minutes. If you're after today's episode, make sure that like button is greatly appreciated to the channel. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I'm always like this before I go in front of a big audience. I'm working up to it. Tee-hee.
Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk.
I don't know.
Regina.
How fabulous, my sweetie pie princess. You came to watch my performance today.
Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this.
Who said that?
So, what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end?
It's not that kind of a show. Isn't that right, my sweeties?
Huh?
I think my sweetie pie prince doesn't seem to realize what's going on. Or even where she is.
Well, Max, looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today, I'm just a member of the audience.
Fabulous! Enjoy yourself out there.
Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick?
Top it to the morning to ya! Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo. Top of the morning to ya, governor.
Top it to the morning.
That's the ticket. A ticket a day starts with an energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms like higher brains function. True. Aha! Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk.
Oh my, thank you.
So, how are you today, Wright?
Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real criminal.
You mean Acro?
Huh? You think he did it?
Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line, literally. He's got guts to spare.
If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. This just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses.
What are you going to do then, Nick?
I guess today we'll just have to do out our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth.
You're right, but it's gonna be tough.
Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to our father.
You want us to make sure Regina watches?
Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today.
What's that supposed to mean?
She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars.
Alrighty then. 10 a.m. District Court number 2. The court is now in session in the trial of Maximilian Galactica.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Ms. Von Karma, you may proceed with your case.
The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events.
What's the meaning of this?
We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime.
Order! I have a feeling something like this would come up.
Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detectives stayed up all night creating a mock-up for the scene of my orders.
Poor Gumshoe.
So we're going through his?
Very well, please call your witness to the stand.
Time to get to work, or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope.
Name and occupation.
Ken Dingley, a everyone calls me Acro. I don't even know that's the same voice. I'm employed as an acrobat at the very big circus.
Where were you the night of the crime?
I was in my room that night. If you look
at the map, you will see the witness room is near the crime scene.
My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window.
The night at the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed?
Okay. What you witnessed? It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. The witness testimony matches up exactly with the clown.
If that's the case, there is very little prosecution need added. All that is left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night.
Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness.
A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper thing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did.
Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. What you witness? It was just after 10 p.m. I was resting in my bed. It's perfectly fine. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from the outside window. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed? That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside? Okay, that's dope. I was indeed. Pressing Acro doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory from what he just said. What do we have? Because there was a contradiction with a certain noise, with a certain puppet. But I do not remember what he was. There's nothing wrong. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. Before we get penalized, that is. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin or perhaps a large action figure. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible.
You have no need to mince words, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to the truth, only to the truth, just as if it were there with you that night.
I believe it was a human. Damn, I just straightened his testimony. I wonder if Acro statement jives with the facts. Really? Oh my god, because it keeps giving us this. There's nothing wrong. Nothing, Your Honor, until I can find a clear contradiction. I should tread lightly. I shouldn't be punished too much. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around its body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. No, nothing wrong, nothing wrong. We get the same results every time. When did you start thinking that when you saw wasn't a dream?
That's not important.
I believe that the prosecution has done a bit of maintenance on the witness' memory. Just to make sure, let's ask the witness. Oh!
Objection!
Sustained.
Don't sustain that. Acro must be lying about things, huh?
Of course he is. Now the challenge will be to expose his lies in court.
Well, put the pedal to the metal, Nick.
You said that you were resting in bed. One with us assumed that you turned the lights off in your room, correct? That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? You wouldn't. I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Aha! Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Oh!
The witness will proceed with his testimony.
So there's two things. Was it really a thump noise? What do I have? What evidence do I have? That's nothing. Huh. The note. A moment later, I saw someone flying right by my window. To the murderer, you haven't forgotten what happened 6 months ago, have you? I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Meet at 10 p.m. tonight at the lodging house plaza. But do we have sustaining evidence that it was him that night? Bronze statue taken from the cafeteria. I feel like it could be that, cuz it was just... Nah, that can't be it. He just says. Yo, let's look it up, because I'm completely lost right now. I mean, I don't want to freaking I don't want to lose any freaking points, but this is really, I'm not thinking anything right now. I really don't. Court statement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I clearly saw the silk hat. Okay, there's a contradiction. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given.
Objection! If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence.
She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction?
Take that!
You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside the window was tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame because you wouldn't have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? I'm afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has 2 silk hats? No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand. Order!
Like always, someone has to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick?
Well, I opened my big mouth, and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today?
He has a grudge against Max?
I mean, I could just say he was dreaming. I don't know what to press. Acro, what the heck? We really have to go for that? Your Honor? On this occasion, defense accuses Acro himself.
On this occasion,
Accuse Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor.
ha ha ha, I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to remember how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by the theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book.
Really?
If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to be almost scary.
He's staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingley, do you have any response to the defense's accusation?
I don't really need to say a thing, do I?
What do you mean?
Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house.
That's true.
I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things.
See, even a silver of a common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous.
Luda!
She's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man. Phoenix is a poopy head.
See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter things as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice.
What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice?
He didn't? Of course he didn't.
Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the Mr.
Wait, I said didn't, right?
Not this time. Mon Karma.
What?
You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed the murder by all himself. I'm mixing up my grammar. Order! What are you getting at?
Way to keep them on their toes, Nick.
Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together.
I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry.
You do it, Nick? Can you really do that?
I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed.
Alright, then let's do it. Mr. Phoenix Wright, if this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right?
Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingley?
He was in his room, right? He was literally in his room. He was obviously here the entire time. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. There's only one answer to that. Acro didn't leave his room to kill a ringmaster.
What? Are you nuts?
What say you, Mr. Dingley?
It's an interesting theory.
That's it?
Considering that what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it.
Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in the wheelchair, there is no way he can go to the scene or be the killer. You got a point.
It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he?
But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Phoenix, Mr. Wright?
What is it?
I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume.
How did he do it? That's the next course of legal buffet? Buffet? Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here.
She's right. I can't mess up here. Gotta give this one serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. He killed the ringmaster while he was in his room. No doubt about it.
Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright.
Present evidence?
I'm going to present some evidence. So what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of the murder against Russell Berry? What's that? A picture?
It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture.
The bust.
It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-size, it is also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death. Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. See, this is how Acro was able to kill the ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust.
Order! So you're saying the bust fell onto the ringmaster?
A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bus.
Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges?
Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth.
Well, Acro. You can— OW!
I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case.
That's what you say?
Von Karma. She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time.
There's absolutely no need for such testimony.
The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defense objection is overruled.
Why can't he see things my way for once?
Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. We can request expert testimony.
The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him.
Thank you.
That woman will sink to any low to win a case.
I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think?
Well, that's too much.
I have no doubts in regards to the witness testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bus and carry it over to the window. Not to mention that he could have not known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries.
That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright?
I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He is simply stalling. It's shameful, really.
I can't let her get to me. I've got to focus.
Oh, we're almost close. I suppose I could have lifted. We're just gonna press. That's all I can think of.
Have you lifted up the bus before?
No, I've never actually lifted up with my own two hands. I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this.
money? That crazy monkey has lived in Max buses before. Hello? Please continue with your testimony. So what have you been doing to keep in shape?
Well, honestly, I have given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope.
You don't say.
But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything.
Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean, Nick.
Whoa. How did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden?
I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear.
Oh, that's a reference I know. And why is that?
Because if I were to do that, I end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet.
So you couldn't have thrown that bus or out of the window? How long do you think your recovery will take?
You have to remember that the nerves were severe. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intense rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%.
Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bus, he would not be able to see out below the window.
Wait. You haven't forgotten I have complicit evidence to place me in the law. Nope. Oh, this is how we get. This is how we lose it. I guess we have to press on forward. Where are we? Press. Why do you say it would be impossible?
Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying that bus, I couldn't see out below the window? Thus, there is no way that I would know the location of the ringmaster's head.
Well, I suppose you got a point.
Hey, Nick.
Huh?
What if you turn things around? Maybe if you think of it sort of like this.
What?
If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bus.
That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow that Acro knew the location of Ringmaster's head without looking down.
I think I've already explained things sufficiently.
If all you had to do was drop it, then it would have been a problem at all.
If all I had to do was drop it, you're right, I could have done that. However, there's no way that I could score a direct hit on the ringmaster's head.
So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright? Acro is strong enough to lift up the bus.
The main problem is how he could have aimed for the ringmaster's head.
I wonder if he used some kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster.
That's the technique, Nick. Show them what you got.
I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case.
I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. But maybe we overlooked something.
Me neither. All I can think of is, let's see, Ringmaster's papers, the promo, the broken bottle, Sucker's map, Money the monkey. Nah. Wait, didn't it say that money was there? I don't know. A victim was hunched over this 20-pound box. It was locked by a small key. I mean, I still want to press on this. Apparently, they ain't gonna work unless. Let's double check on what I'm supposed to do. Or the crime photo. 5 or 6. I think this is it. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add.
Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Wright. Enough stalling, how about you show us some evidence?
But I did such a good job hinting. Yes, hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here?
Who?
When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bus came falling down was exactly the same moment the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear.
You mean...
If the bus were to fall upon the point marked up on the wooden box, there wouldn't be no way that he could miss the head of the victim.
Really?
Order! This is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I'm just gonna keep going. There's only one way to go from here. Forward. So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected to a rope. Then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow!
Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Ow!
The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box.
That's why the box was so specially made.
Specially made?
Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The contents? I don't know. The contents? The weight? The box has a remarkable weight.
Weight?
According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box would have required. I see. One would have to squat down, then lift up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has the carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you had to squat down. Which means, there's no matter who you are, your head will be approximately in the same place. Oh, now I get it.
Fool!
Does she even bother to listen to me anymore? He or she? I've heard what you had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you drop it? Did you drop the boss onto the ringmaster? What are you talking about? Even if I had wanted to do such a thing, I couldn't. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of this bus? I remember. The bus? Who are you talking about? I forgot. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself.
That means...
You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bus from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bus from the cafeteria to my room?
You see, Mr. Wright, explain that. Don't forget you said there was no accomplice.
Ah!
Tell us exactly how the witness could have carried the bus from the cafeteria.
Yep, we definitely had a problem here. This is no place to get perplexed. I gotta get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright. Let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? Nope.
A monkey?
Hello? Everyone knows Money. He loves shiny objects of any size.
For instance, he stole the ventriloquist's wing.
So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bus?
Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home.
Home?
Money lives in Acro's room.
Acro's room.
But the bus was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny.
Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the core record.
My, those are some shiny nice cards.
Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Acro? Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bus back to your room.
If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Order! I said order, Miss Von Karma! Where is the bus in question at this moment?
I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak.
This is a strange turn of events. That monkey did not steal the bus. And what happens to this case?
Well, in that event, something else must have been used as the murder weapon.
Well, or maybe this bus was the murder weapon, but it was used by accident.
That's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mounted of stolen goods and thought of using one of them. Anyways, I think we're more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer.
Moron!
Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, this argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Oh!
Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney.
Fraud?
You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
And what is that?
You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magician client was spotted at the scene of the crime. There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony.
That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright?
Nick, don't let her beat you down now.
I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around.
When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this, only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The clown saw the murder. Who was it then?
The bus, right? We pick out the bus.
Take that!
He saw Max. Ow!
I asked who was the other person most on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question.
Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Mac's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw.
How is that possible?
It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Mac's bus.
What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he just saw happened to be wearing a cloak.
There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to a bus. Or a cloak like that would be easily get snagged on the bus if they came into contact.
Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bus?
It doesn't matter who put it on the bus.
Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bus? The question is of utmost importance to the case, don't you agree?
You caught me.
So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bus?
Fool! Him?
You're saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry?
That's what I'm saying.
The victim himself placed the cloak on the bus.
Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it.
That would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright.
Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle of all this?
I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint, anyways. Alright, So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then, he attached the rope to the bust, and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than the ventriloquist and the puppet, Ben and Trilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bus hit the victim... Ow! That's graphic. Oh.
You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this isn't true. It can't be.
It's still a little early to getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. His circus isn't over yet.
Eh?
With the shock of impact, it threw up the cloak and it got snagged onto the bus. That's when the sound was heard by the witness and he looked out of the window. That the witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls, the clown. When Moe looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily, because in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. Ta-da! And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. Ta-da! Now you know how the murder actually took place. And now you know who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the scene. Acro, it could have only been you.
Acro's been playing mind games with all of us.
He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now.
So,
what now?
you've graced us with a rather long
Winded or winded tale.
But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true?
Evidence?
In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip.
Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence?
Nick, you say they want evidence.
I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. There's still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness account.
Unusual.
A contradiction, actually.
Okay then, use that and get out of his jam.
So now talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. What exactly do we have? What was the trick? What was the trick? What was the trick? Oh, really? I was going with that, but okay. The problem is Mac's three symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were two contradictions in Moe's testimony.
The silk hat was one, and the white roses were the other.
Well, the theory I just presented explains all the contradictions.
You fool! Do you ever shut up?
Mac's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Moe said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Moe saw was actually the bust.
Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see a silk hat. Well, sort of.
Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction?
The other?
Remember what the ventriloquist said in court. He said he witnessed white roses on Mac's chest that night. But the clown testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one right away. You can do it, Nick.
Of course! I can explain all of it.
What was that?
Please recall the incident when the cloak snagged onto the bus. If the cloak snagged onto the bus, what happened to the white roses? It was just facing the opposite way. Do you get it yet? If the cloak gets snagged onto the front of the bus, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bus. Which explains why Mo didn't see it. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bus. What do I mean, front?
Order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. Well, so much for the theory.
Mr. Wright, do you mind?
What is it?
You took the time to research our circus, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't?
If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track.
Why is that?
Motive. The witness feels an incredible depth of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation of the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do now? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respects the ringmaster.
Acro's motive. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel that's a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of the Mr. Dingley session after recess. The court will now take a 10-minute recess.
And with that, we'll end today's episode right here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that like button, comment, performance. If you're new, if you like to subscribe, just check us XTV, and I'm signing out.